let's starting with our first Gaon today. Who was Rav Achai Gaon?
Okay, so we'll start with Rav Achai. Rav Achai is born in somewhere around the year 680. I've seen different accounts of when he passed away, 1752, 1762. We know he made Aliyah sometime after the year 750 based on Rav Shira Gaon's writings. He learned under someone by the name of Mar Shmuel Reish Kala in the yeshiva in Matamachsia. And he was considered very authoritative among the Geonim. He gets quoted by other Geonim in their writings, in their responsa. Moving later in Jewish history, after the period of the Geonim to the period of the Rishonim, Rashi quotes him. Rabbi Nassan of Rome, also known as Rabbi Nassan, author of the Aruch, quotes him. Very widely quoted, widely relied upon. But as I understand it, he wasn't actually a Gaon. He was a very serious Talmid Chacham in the yeshiva, and people went to him and people consulted him and asked him questions and so on. However, as Rav Shira Gaon records it in his letter recording the history of the Geonim, there was a point where there was a need to appoint a new Gaon. The Reish Galusa, the exilarch, would have had the opportunity to appoint the Gaon. So this Reish Galusa, Shlomo Bar Chazdai, appoints Rav Natrunai Bar Rav Emuna as the Gaon. Rav Natrunai Bar Rav Emuna was a student of Rav Achai. And Rav Achai, as Rav Shira Gaon reports in his very terse presentation, makes Aliyah. He simply leaves. Why did he make Aliyah? Was it just because he was upset that he was passed over for the position of Gaon? Was there something else involved? So Rav Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, also known as the Nitziv, was the Rosh Yeshiva of Volozhin at the end of the 19th century. And he wrote on Sfarim which are either ignored or at least somewhat neglected in other parts of Jewish scholarship. And he wrote on the She'iltos, which is a book by Rav Achai, which we'll talk about more, I think, shortly. But he wrote a commentary on it. And in his introduction to his commentary, he offers a very interesting explanation for why Rav Achai made Aliyah. He says Rav Achai went to Israel where there was no great yeshiva at this time. You did not have a yeshiva, certainly to parallel what was in Bavel. And his reason for doing so was because he did not want to be a counter to the yeshivos in Bavel. Meaning, he was very afraid that if he were to set up shop somewhere with a large Jewish community and a significant yeshiva, that would cause people to write questions to him and would cause people to send their financial contributions to him. And that would weaken the yeshivos in Bavel. So he didn't want to do that. So he went to a place that was remote, but wasn't so remote that he would now be out of the picture of the Jewish world. He could still teach Torah. He could still spread Torah, and that's why he made Aliyah at that point.